Why, hello. Are we ready to think critically about what's going to happen with the Voting Gauntlet this month for Hero Rises? I am. I actually just did a video. I'm like recording it minutes after, where I looked at, I think, like the top 60-ish for Hero Rises voting. And so I have currently lost my faith in humanity. However, it's still worth taking a look and seeing, you know, who might succeed and conquer the other 7. It's a bad intro. This is a Voting Gauntlet, a Hero Rises edition prediction for Fire Emblem Heroes by me, KCB. Is that better? Is that professional? I don't know. Anyway, this is the Voting Gauntlet. I think that this is how it's going to be lined up. It should be anyway. So we have top seed versus low seed. So 1 and 8, 2 and 7, you know, 3 and 6, 5 and 4. You know the deal. I've gone over this before. There's another video that kind of explains that on the channel already, so I won't go back and hash that over again. So this is basically, I think, what the bracket's going to look like. If it is, I'm very sad. I'm dreadfully sad. So in an ideal world, selfishly, admittedly, for me, I would have very much liked to have seen New Year Dagger and Thor proceed. And again, I don't really need a Thor. I just think, you know, people would benefit from having a Thor if they don't have a Thor. And also, I really like Thor. So it's selfish on my part, but also not, because I don't actually need it. I think of all the units I would want to maybe win, I think probably New Year Dagger or Harmonized Azura. I think they're probably towards the top of my list, but again, they are, like, they can do things offensively, but their main attraction is kind of more support based, right? So Pathfinder for everybody with Dagger, and then just crazy Azura dancing, singing stuff with, you know, Desert Azura. Desura. Hey, now that's a name. Other than that, I don't really care. I would like either of those two to get further ahead, but I don't know that that's actually going to be the case. So sad. But let's take a look and think critically. So again, this is a Voting Gauntlet, right? Literally nothing should ever be taken for granted with a Voting Gauntlet. They're the worst. Number one, they line up a Hero Rises voting by taps, which is just meant to, I think, intentionally throw you off and make it difficult to find the hero that you're actually looking to vote for. So there's that. And then they put it into a Voting Gauntlet so that, A, you don't really necessarily get a huge say in who's in the banner, and then you also don't really get a huge say in who gets picked as the free giveaway at the end of it. Because RNG exists when it comes to Voting Gauntlets, and they're yucky. They did at least take I think the same unit, same team unit bonus thing out. I don't think those are a part of it anymore. They may have been like the first time, if even. But I'm fairly confident that multipliers still exist. So there's that. But you know, there's always an aspect of RNG to a Voting Gauntlet, and having something this important decided by Voting Gauntlet it feels bad, man. It feels bad. So what do I think is gonna happen with all of that precursor out of the way? How do I think that this is going to unfold? Well, round 1, I think we're probably going to see Siggy fall. I think we're gonna see Byleth move ahead. I think Eitri, which again makes me sad, probably going to beat out Thor. Is what it is. Dagger, unfortunately, look, man, it's hard to be the ninja unit. Okay, like, on God, if I could just be honest with you, if you are a player who just cares about benefiting their account, literally just save all your orbs all year long, pull for a copy of your favorite throughout, and then just wait for the Ninja Mare to show up in November. Literally all you have to do. It's literally just a win button. That's all they are. So it's going to be hard to, even with RNG, it's going to be hard to beat Ninja Corrin. Okay, I think she's genuinely like a favorite here. And I think she was even first. Yeah, she's first. So she came up and beat out Fallen Edelgard for first place since the interims. So it's gonna be tough to beat her. I think Azura probably is going to beat out Edelgard, and here's my reasoning for that. Number one, Edelgard is normal pool, and even though Fallen Edelgard is good, I think a lot of people are going to realize that limited options are usually typically better than stuff that is normal availability. I think people are very excited for the potential of having an all-green banner, and that is exactly what this would be. This, in my worldview here, you'd be looking at Male Byleth Legendary, you'd be looking at Eitri Legendary, you'd be looking at Duo Corrin, and then you'd be looking at Harmonized Azura. And they're all green, and it would be a banger banner. I have nothing bad to say about it, other than the fact that sparking is going to be hella expensive, because you're probably just going to be sparking, or rather just sniping for green stones. The rate of getting a hero from a green stone is probably pretty high, as long as you don't care who it is. If you're trying to get a particular green character, it's not so great. But if you don't care about how much it costs to spark, if you don't care which green unit you get, an all green banner is great. I don't know how many people view it that way. I think the majority of players probably look at this as, I want just this one character. And they maybe don't view it that way. So I don't know how beneficial it is to everybody overall as a whole. But there are pros and cons, you know? And so I think the majority of people are going to get on the all green bandwagon. I think that's probably what's going to happen. And in fairness, there are a lot of good green units. The top 8, it was 6 out of 8 were all green. So, I mean, that it makes sense. So, I think with that regard alone, Edelgard and Sigurd both kind of have that working against them. And that feels a little bad. Particularly for Sigurd, because I kind of want him. But you know what? Male Byleth has the strengths too. So that's kind of nice, you know? I'm trying to think positively here. I could even come up with good points for Fallen Edelgard. But I won't, because I'm glad, at least, if we get a limited top 4. That would at least make a limited banner overall. That would make me happy. You ready for this? So this is obviously semifinals. This is what I think the finals are going to come out to. I don't think Eitri is going to be able to beat out Corrin. I don't think that is possible. Okay. I do not think Byleth is going to beat out Azura. I just don't. So what's weird is I am predicting that we're going to have Duo and Harmonized beat out Legendaries. Which I guess is kind of fair. Because overall, I think in general, newer Legendaries see reruns on Legendary Mythic banners at least 3 times a year. Right? Definitely 2. At least usually 3, maybe 4. Whereas a special banner like the Ninja or Hatari banner, you're going to see them in their debut, and then you're going to see them in a double special 6 months later, and then you're going to see them once a year for their rerun. So that's it. Like, that's literally it. In the course of, you know, a year, you're going to have 2 shots at these, and then 1 shot a year moving forward. Whereas these guys, at least the legendaries and mythics, you know, they have a fair rotation. Even older ones are on twice a year, so they at least match. And then they'll show up another, you know, 2 or 3 times a year in remix banners down the road when they get pushed to that particular pool. So I think in terms of rarity, this is maybe an optimal outcome. I do think overall, of all of the non-legendary mythic participants, and so by that I mean just Dagger, of all of the possible duo and harmonized units we could have here, I think probably Azura and Corrin are more accessible Okay, so like Corrin's just kind of a win button, you know. Azura, again, kind of a win button. Dagger, you're giving everybody Pathfinder, you still have to move units around. A little more thinking involved with that, right? I think to just the general player, they look at Corrin, they look at Azura, and they say, oh, I can do Unga Bunga things. Dope. And then they go do Unga Bunga things. It's like a main DPS in Genshin Impact. It's like, ooh, big numbers. That's exciting. And then people get excited about that. But if like they see a support or a sub DPS, they're like, yeah, okay, well, that's a little underwhelming. That's how I feel like people look at Dual Dagger. Which is unfortunate because that's who I ultimately would have wanted to win this, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Anyway, between Hatari, Azura, and Ninja Corrin, I think we're probably going to be seeing Ninja Corrin win for basically the reason I just laid out. If you have Azura, you have someone who is relatively offensively potent, but her main shtick is going to be to dance or sing a unit that you already have to then go get a second kill that turn. That's more or less the basic plan with Azura. Whereas, okay, with Corrin, you just hit the duo skill, and then that is basically your dance for your incredibly offensively potent unit who can usually just one-shot things, or rather, I guess, two-shot things, because it's a brave effect. But basically just get a one-round KO in that turn. And so basically, Corrin does Corrin things, but also kind of Azura things that Azura would do to Corrin anyway. So I think most people are probably going to see it like that. And I think the majority are going to kind of push Corrin forward. And it's not crazy to think. I mean, I think it was Saros and Duo Lin, Ninja Lin, in the finals last year. And Lin ended up winning. And as someone who is, you know, a Saros stan, I think the right character won in general. So, you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I think Ninja Corrin wins it. Now, granted, again, RNG is a factor here, so it could be anybody that wins. But I think in an ideal world, we gotta at least acknowledge that a Ninja Duo Corrin would be very beneficial to a lot of people. I don't want it to have, okay, I don't have any stake in this, but even I have a hard time being like trying to justify Duo Dagger over Duo Corrin. Like, just as a unit for everybody as a whole, I have a hard time trying to justify that, even though it's what I want. But I'm not going to get what I want. She made it in the top 4. That means we'd have to miss out on Corrin, and then she wouldn't even be in the banner, which also kind of sucks. So it's very bitter. I'm so upset about that first bracket. Very upset about that first bracket. On God, it makes me very, very sad. But what are you gonna do, man? That's probably how it's gonna roll. Those are my thoughts. But that's what I got for you. That's my take on the Voting Gauntlet. Potential chaos that will ensue. So yeah, let me know what you're thinking about the Voting Gauntlet. Be nice. Say nice things. Don't say mean things. Don't be toxic. We don't like that. And let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But that's it for now. So, hey, thanks for watching. I'm looking forward to this. I hope either way, I think everybody's getting a good unit no matter who wins overall. But yeah, that's what I got. So thanks again. Subscribe, come back for more, and until then, I will catch you next time.